As a Buddhist, we know the Buddha's teaching of non-violence right from the childhood, but we are never able to apply it into a governance of a state or a national struggle or socio-economic life of ordinary people. Most of the Buddhist people understood that non-violence means only spiritual practice, and it cannot be applicable to worldly life. So therefore, even the Buddhist countries like Tibet never been able to do away with the military force or policing or punishment. Lot of violence has been taking place, yet they claim they are Buddhist. So most eye-opener for us is the Gandhi's teaching. No, non-violence is not only a spiritual practice. It can be applied, it can be implemented into worldly life, even a national struggle or governance of a state. So that attracts us very much, and therefore I consider Gandhi as one of the unique teacher who make the Buddhists able to understand how to apply non-violence into worldly affairs and state affairs and social and political work. So that is why we very much appreciate Gandhi's teaching. The Tibet struggle was not a complete non-violent. In the 1950s, when China invaded Tibet, a lot of violent resistance was there. Even after 1959, for quite some time, the majority people committed to non-violence, but there are still violent resistance were continue. It was after 1972 we were able to become complete non-violent, the entire Tibet movement. And then since then we are very happy that this struggle can go with non-violent, and we apply it inside Tibet and outside Tibet both, and it is very effective. In spite of a great propaganda of People's Republic of China and their influence in the world, the Tibet cause never been died in the international scenario, and hundreds of thousands of people voluntarily come up to support in the cause of Tibet. I think that is only due to we are able to commit ourselves to non-violent. And China, in spite of their such mighty power, they cannot ignore the voice of Tibet. That's only because of the non-violent power. Otherwise, in the name of terrorism or in the name of anything, the Tibet cause could have been pushed away very easily. So it is very practical and also very effective, even from the viewpoint of politics. So it is no problem for applying the Gandhian tradition to the Tibet cause. Particularly, I always talk about the Gandhi's writing the small book Hind Swaraj. We are trying to celebrate the centenary of Hind Swaraj in 2009. It was written in 1909. Gandhi gave a complete picture of Indian situation, and that 100% goes with our situation. So I used to say, if the word Gandhi used, British or British government, is substituted by Chinese or Chinese government, and wherever he used India or Indians is substituted by Tibet and Tibetans, the entire book is 100% giving the situation of Tibet of today. So therefore Gandhian method is very much relevant for us. I think in present global situation, non-violence is the only option if the humanity has the desire to survive and let the coming generation to sustain, then there's no any other option than the non-violence, because the globalization of violence and destruction of environment through various kind of structural violence, and also the new brand of violence in the form of terrorism. Today no one is safe nowhere, and always people live under threat and danger. So this kind of life cannot be given any solace to any people. So if there is anything to be substituted, because this kind of terror can never be encountered by counter-terrorism, there need to be a complete antidote to it, and that is only non-violence. So if people are going to suicidal, then it is okay. Otherwise, if there is little bit of will to survive, then non-violence is the only way. It is horrible, and September 11th incident must be condemned, and we should work with a whole heart to prevent such a repetition of this kind of terrorism. Thousands of innocent people have been killed for no cause, and this is completely unacceptable, and we must oppose it by whole force. But at the same time, we should also look the cause of this terrorism. This terrorism can never be put to an end by counter-violence, by counter-force. We have to remove the cause of violence, cause of terrorism. The happenings of 11 September was not without any cause. There was a perpetuated cause in the world, which is resulted and expressed in such way. So if we are not happy with it, then we must remove the cause. These causes are hatred, and the hate was perpetuated through various social, political injustice and inequality among the people, financially, economically, socially, and in various things. And also there have been some kind of indoctrination of hating with each other. It is a kind of product of the today's so-called civilization. The ultra-modern or post-modern civilization has escalated this kind of hate with each other. I am a Tibetan Buddhist monk. We react to the Chinese atrocities. Chinese atrocities are not less than the 11 September incident. We react with a sense of humility and responsibility. We do not blame the entire incident to China alone. the Tibetan has accumulated a lot of cause for this kind of suffering. So therefore, we do not perpetuate anger and hate towards the Chinese authorities. We try to love them, we try to give them compassion and kindness, and through which we try to reconcile, we try to change their heart. When I take over as Prime Minister of the Tibetan government in exile, I have made it very clear to all of my people that my every action and every decision would be based on three basic principles: truth, non-violence, and genuine democratic system. So whatever decision I take, that will be taken through a genuine democratic system based on the truth and non-violence. Anything relates directly or indirectly to violence, I will oppose. I will not do that. And anything is untruthful, I will not do that. And for that matter, I have to take certain very bold and unpopular decisions, such as privatization of all the government-run business units, which are not very truthful and free from structural violence. So I have closed down everything, and that was quite unpopular. Then I have made decision that all the chemical fertilizers which are used in our agriculture settlements and which will be substituted by compost and other things and biochemical, natural and other agriculture system. So these things are temporarily unpopular, but people did not oppose to it. And I think within next 4 years, I have completed 1 year, and within next 4 years, I will be able to completely clean up the administration from any kind of violence and based on truth. So that is, today I think that it was not very bad for me to be chosen as a Prime Minister. It is of course not consonance to my monkhood and my own nature, but it is a challenge which I have accepted, and then I think it is useful as well. The Tibet gets autonomy or not, His Holiness has made a point that Tibet must be declared as zone of ahimsa, zone of non-violence, and free from military presence, and also free from presence of any kind of destructive weapon. That is our great hope. The national freedom is secondary, but to make the Tibetan plateau as a zone of non-violent, that is more important for us. So we are trying on that direction. A very different kind of economic system must prevail. His Holiness the Dalai Lama has said several times that a Buddhist middle path economy must be adopted if Tibet gets some kind of genuine autonomy. So for that, I have prepared a blueprint saying that our economy must be non-violent, eco-friendly, self-sufficient, and based on people's genuine need. Our body has a number of basic requirements which you cannot deny, and to fulfillment of those needs is your basic responsibility, your duty. You have to fulfill those needs. For example, you feel thirst and you must drink water, a clean water. And a clean water is the real need. And today you need some kind of artificial water. You are conditioned that is not the need. It is the greed. You are being fed with sweet water or sour water or fruit juice or this and that. Then you are not able to live with clean and genuine good water, which really sustains your health and your body. You need some different kind of drink. So that is greed, that is not need. And a good, well-balanced food is need. And you must prepare such good food, not for taste, but for the health, to sustain the body. Today the food is no connection with your body. It always with your taste. And now it is mostly time and status. And people think not eating a 5-star hotel is some kind of below status. And cooking in the home is not very enjoyable. And sometimes eating while going in a what you call fast food, and which is very dangerous for health, but still you enjoy it. So these are not the basic needs. These are the greeds. And one cloth, 2 cloth, 3 cloth is sufficient. One is washing and the other is wearing, and the third is saved for some other things. A 3 set of clothes is fulfills the person's need. But no, you have 3, 4, 5 different kind of clothes in 24 hours. For going to office, you need some other, and for playing game, you need some other set of clothes. Going party, some other set of clothes. To sleep, some other set of clothes. All these are the exploitation of the greed. So that has no end. We think we are consuming the consumer goods, but the consumer goods are consuming the person. We are consumed by the consumerism. So we must be aware of that. And that means the whole modern concept of development shall have to be discarded. The traditional agriculture, traditional nomad, and traditional small-scale handicrafts and small-scale industry, that has to be the basis of whole nation's economy. And the nation's economy must be based on the real need of people, not on the greed of people. The need to be recognized, and then we must be satisfied with that. And greed must be prevented. And then competition must be eliminated, which shall have to be substituted by cooperation. So with this line, then entire the national economy is can go on those terms. Then we will be able to maintain a non-violent economy. Otherwise, as long as we are in exile, or the Tibetans under the Chinese occupation, we cannot hope for that. In Tibet, there has been successively from the 5th Dalai Lama till the 13th Dalai Lama, the Dalai Lamas have ruled the country as the head of state. And all the successive Dalai Lamas, except the 6th Dalai Lama, from the 5th to 13th, all of them were monk. Then secondly, since 5th Dalai Lama, in Tibet government set up, each office is being headed by 2 officials. One is a monk official and the other is a lay official. And that tradition was there. Then it is also some kind of immature democracy. All the lay officials shall have to come from the hereditary noble family. And the monk officials always comes from any walk of life, because anybody can become monk, and any monk can become monk official. So at the highest level to the lowest level, everywhere the officials are working jointly a monk official and the lay official. And this system has been remained there for exactly 360 years. This year we are celebrating the, the fifth Dalai Lama's administration is complete 360 years. So for the last 360 years, the monks used to act as ministers. And when we were in Tibet, there used to be 5 ministers, and out of which 4 are lay and 1 is monk. And the monk minister used to be the senior most minister in any way. So that is same repeated here. I had the cabinet as a monk, and 4 of my other ministers are lay people. So we do jointly. Now in Tibet there never have been a female minister. In the government officials, there are no female government officials till 1959, and after coming to SL, there have been many lady ministers, but not yet a non-minister. We have non-officials, but we don't have until now non-minister. But in India, during last about 20 years, the population of nun is very much increased, and the education standard of nuns are also very much upgraded. So now the population of monk and nuns are almost equal, and we didn't have any bhikkhuni in Tibet for a long time, and now they have restored the bhikkhuni tradition from Singapore several years back, and now we have not very big but small number of bhikkhunis, and which has been now gradually accepted by the society. So it is for them it is a good change. The concept of democracy which prevailed in the most of countries today is of a Western style of democracy. And the Western style of democracy is, in my opinion, not a genuine democracy. And as a Buddhist, we try to have a genuine democracy. That genuine democracy means at the highest level, you have to remove, as an ultimate goal, you have to remove the duality between ruled and the ruler. This duality is eliminated, then there will be genuine people's rule. Then that will be genuine democracy. I think that is the Buddhist concept of equality on the basis of potential. So that is very difficult to achieve. Until that, a democracy in which the people's conscience is not overruled by the majority or by anything else. Each people must have his or her own freedom of thinking and a freedom of expression. That is absolutely necessary. Today, the multi-party system, it's very difficult to have a real public opinion, because the people has not given the freedom to think for themselves. The opinion is formulated by the parties, and then they indoctrinate you through various media and advertisement. So today people doesn't have to understand what is your need. You have to decide your needs according to the producers. The people product consumers to good, and then they indoctrinate you. You must have it, without which you cannot survive. That kind of psychology has been created, brainwashed. So that brainwashing is one of the most dangerous domination open the free mind. So democracy needs to restore or protect that freedom of thought and freedom of expression, not in a modern concept, but in reality. So that is the Buddhist outlook of our democracy. Freedom, equality, justice, and fraternity. This four is the very important concept about democracy. But the concept of all these three pillars are entirely different from the Buddhist viewpoint. We talk about justice. The highest justice is justice according to natural law, not man-made law. Man-made law can never give you the real justice. And man-made law is mostly depend on the concept of revenge. And the concept of revenge is not a justice. So we have to think about the justice on the basis of natural law. Natural law means law of karma and law of nature. So this is a big subject. We can dwell upon it. What the concept of justice according to Buddhism. Then freedom. What the Buddha talk about freedom is freedom from the bondage of negative emotions, the defilement of mind. As long as defilement of mind is there, you cannot be free. In a society, we cannot eliminate the default of mind, but we can reduce it. Today, the negative emotions are being intentionally promoted for business purposes. Our greed is very much promoted by outside influence. And then ultimately, through practice of dharma, you can eliminate also. That is the freedom. Freedom from one's own negative emotions. Equality on the basis of potential of development. Each sentient being is having the potential to become a Buddha. That has to be recognized. Then only that basis you can be equal. Otherwise, the today's Western concept of equality is equality among equals. Can never be unequals can be equal. That has to be discussed, and then we shall have to develop what is equality means. And the fraternity on the basis of compassion, selfless compassion. Fraternity not on the basis of power politics, not on the basis of selfish ends. That is not the real fraternity. So, from the Buddhist viewpoint, the basic concept of the democracy will be entirely different from that of today's Western political science, what they say. Then there are certain things are good, the separation of power and division of power. This we can adopt. It is a good method, not a good philosophy. They are not philosophy, these are institutionalization and methods that we can take. Whatever is possible, we can take from them. Now, we recommend party-less democracy. Multi-party as a necessary condition for a genuine democracy is not acceptable. I don't oppose if there is a multi-party, but multi-party always goes in competition. And anything goes in competition, that is violence, ultimately. Competition means one shall have to win and the other shall have to lose. And winner creates the arrogance, and the loser suffers from the hatred, and then ultimately it goes into violence. So a genuine democracy, there must not be any competition. Only cooperation and consensus shall have to be evolved. Election be like choosing the individuals. We are doing at this moment. The Tibet Parliament members are being chosen two-tier system of election. The first election is nominate the candidates by the people. Each people has a right to nominate certain number of people as a candidate. Each individual. For example, we have 10 regional representatives. So each voter can nominate 10 people's name as a candidate. And according to those votes pooled, the highest number of votes are pooled, they are put as a candidate. Then 20, 25, 23 candidates have been listed, and then you have to choose out of them at the second election. So therefore no one comes voluntarily, I will be the representative. There is no campaign. Campaign is not allowed, and only the biodata of the candidates are being called from the individuals and their supporters, and then that is scrutinized by the Election Commission, and then Election Commission give it to all the voters. This candidate has this much experience and he have done this and this, and so individual candidates do not campaign, do not make a campaign. From the Buddhist viewpoint, we have the three shiksha, that means threefold education. That is the Buddhist, fundamental Buddhist rule of education. Shila, to discipline your physical and vocal. Samadhi, to discipline your mind. And then prajna, the awakening of your wisdom, inner intelligence. That is the education, not accumulation of information. That's not education. It is only that kind of education you can give to a computer. You put every information in and it will get back. So that awakening of mind is the basic objective of education. So therefore I very much like the Krishnamurti's statement. He always says, flowering in goodness, awakening of human intelligence is the objective of the education. So education must be able to flower your good nature and do away your evil nature, and to open up your wisdom, intelligence. And then even you don't have much information, you will be able to discriminate what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. So this kind of education is almost disappear. Today you have to memorize many things, and then you have to repeat it when examination conducts, and most of these informations are irrelevant to our life. All of these informations are perpetuating or exploiting your negative emotions.